So what I want to talk about is how come Americans are suffering financially wise? Why is everything so expensive to get? And anything you need, necessities, food, clothes, health wise, anything is just so expensive for no reason. I mean, to get a root canal, if you have no insurance, it's like $6,000, and it makes no sense why it's so expensive. And I'm looking at this graph right here, and how like the economy is just so messed up. It just doesn't make sense. Everyone around me is just dirt poor and living super below means of everything. I remember growing up hearing about the American dream, about growing up and going to college and having a family, having kids, buying a house. But now you can't even do that. You can't even do that. Most of these cars are fully ran through with insane interest that are up to 30%. And most average income people can't afford payments of a vehicle. They want like $1,000 a month from you, and it just makes no sense how that is. And and then, like, health wise, like, everyone is human, and everyone needs doctors in their life, and they all need to be seen for their health. And for some reason, our healthcare system is making it to where that's the most expensive thing to to cost people. It just doesn't make sense why America is like this. I don't get it. Everyone around me is super dirt poor. You know, like a toothpaste this big is like $7, and it doesn't make sense why it costs that much. And then now all the food at the stores are expensive, but not only is the food expensive, the food is filled with all kinds of chemicals and preservatives and dyes to make it last longer. So as they're messing up the food and making it unhealthy for us as humans, they're increasing that chemical food. And it really is just an American problem. I don't know why these billionaires and these higher ups think they can ruin the middle class and the lower class of people just because of money. Like, it doesn't make sense how that is and why that's even allowed. I don't understand why it's like that, and why we're always in debt for some reason as America, as a country. You know, I would think they can just print money, but just, apparently you can't do that. Constantly print money, we'll get out of a debt, but apparently that's not a thing. Or virtual money, they have bank accounts and crypto wallets. Can't you just make numbers in an account? But maybe that's not right. Someone can correct me. I don't know if you can do that. But it's just crazy, a lot of people mid 20s, early 20s, late 20s, early 30s can't afford nothing. And they're all moving back with their parents because they can't live on their own. I remember back then, apartments were meant to be temporary, as in you're in a house and you're moving to another house, but that house isn't ready. So you move into the apartment for like 3 months until that house is ready, because apartments are meant to be temporary. But now apartments are like one, two, $3,000 a month for something that's like 6, 7, 800 square foot, which is not a lot of space. And then they got all these admin fees and charges and just a bunch of bullshit just for you to live in a box, in a hut. And then you have like shitty neighbors or shitty rules. Or maybe you mess up your parking and then your car gets towed and you have to spend $200 to get it back. This doesn't make sense, man. How, like, it just doesn't make sense that America is slowly becoming a third world country. Not the higher ups. The government's not becoming a third world country. The military's not becoming a third world country. The middle class and the lower class are becoming a third world country because we are cows. The government is treating us like cows. we are cattle. They want to herd us. They're trying to control us. They're trying to starve us, so that way, when whenever they have their chance to take over, we won't have any energy to retaliate because we're just all starved and full of chemicals from food that they're trying to sell us for a skyrocket of the price. But yet, all these jobs are paying really shitty, and or just shitty jobs, or no one's even hiring, and it just doesn't make sense. I've seen some jobs that require a bachelor's and like years of experience and all these certificates for $18 an hour. Like $18 an hour is nothing. That can't get you nothing. Maybe a little hut of apartment, and that's it. You can't afford nothing else. You can't have a family living off of $18 an hour. Man, it just doesn't make sense why jobs are like that. I mean, a veterinary tech is like $13 an hour. A pharmacy assistant is like $16 an hour. 16 weeks at a trade school to become medical billing certified, they're paying $17 an hour. And that's really ass. That's really ass. That's really bad. That's not good. That's nothing for people who went to some kind of school to get certified in that field. This doesn't make sense. And then now Amazon firing damn near almost everyone because they want automation. And it just doesn't make sense how, like, that American dream is gone. Everything's just getting worse and worse and worse as time goes on. And people are getting more poor and poor and poor. And it just doesn't make any sense. If you don't. Most rich people did something bad to get rich. Or they have old money that they got from their families that passing money generations. And some people just got lucky with their money and they created a product to sell or got a good position. But that's only like 2-3% of Americans. So it just really sucks that my neighbors, my friends, my family can't afford anything because these jobs, these American jobs don't pay a goddamn thing. Not only that, but everything is so expensive. Like, toothpaste should not be $7. Meat, you try to get one steak, it's like $25. That's like $13 for 1 pound of ground beef. That's like 30% fat. Like, it's insane. And then if you want like cereal, all these cereals and candies and snacks, all filled with just a bunch of bullshit chemicals. Bread is filled with a bunch of chemicals now. You have to start making bread by scratch so you don't have eating fucking chemical bread. This doesn't make sense how it's going on right now, man. This is so bad. Everyone's suffering. No one's retaliating. No one's speaking up. We're just getting gangbanged by the government every year, every month. Something is always going bad with the economy. It might have gotten a little bit better, but everyone is still suffering. The fact that a Lego set like this big, a Lego set that is this big is like $30. I thought Legos were for kids. Kids can't afford a $35 Lego set. That's insane. Like, it's insane what is going on with all these corporate businesses and all these healthcare systems, insurance companies, the government itself. Like I said, the government is the biggest gang in the world. They are a menace, and it just sucks. Sure, they've done a couple good things, but screwing Americans up, bro, putting their foot in Americans' asses, that we're gonna charge you more on taxes and not increase pay, but increase everything else. It's just crazy how shitty the world has become and how America has become. It just really, really sucks, man. Like, that American dream is truly gone. That doesn't exist anymore. I feel really bad for these new generations, these people that are born in early 2000s, late 2000s, 2010s. They're going to grow up poor and shitty because the American system is not there to help them. The American system is there to fuck them. And as far as Gen Z, 20s, 25s, most of them are struggling, and most of them had to move in with family, and it's just fucked up as a country. And it's crazy to me that we have to deal with this. And it's crazy to me that there's absolutely nothing that 350 million Americans can do to make the government stop their bullshit. And I just don't understand it. And it blows, man. It's a shitty timeline, a shitty world we are in right now. I don't even know if this is hell or if we haven't seen hell yet. But I feel like this is hell. This is some form of Armageddon. How just every human being is just getting screwed over by the government. You know, it sucks. Yeah, we have freedom and shit. But I mean, what's the point of having freedom if we're just getting screwed over constantly, man? It's not fun, man. It sucks. Peace.